Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Sunday Diaries, where I sit down and speak about the past week I had, lessons I learned, business updates, and life updates as well. So, jumping right into the business side, we have over 185 active coaching clients in the Agent Leaders program and should be hitting our first six-figure month very soon. And that's amazing for me to say that because I've been chasing that for so long. And it goes directly into the next thing, which is I finally now have a predictable way to actually acquire new customers. I completely understand how sales funnel works, and it's amazing to see all of the hard work coming to life with regards to really and truly just knowing my numbers and knowing the business inside out when it comes to the client acquisition system, which is something I think is one thing every business owner needs to know how to do. Because I've been in business for like 7 years now, and it's only been the past year and a half that I really started understanding what client acquisition actually meant from a paid ad structure point of view. And now it just feels like everything makes sense. Running ads makes sense, building the business makes sense, scaling the business makes sense, just because I can actually see and know the numbers. So for example, like this month we spent 4,082 euros on ads. We generated over 448 leads. Cost per lead was around 7 euros per lead. We booked around 60 sales calls, appointments. Cost per sales calls were around 68 euros, and we closed around 15 clients so far. This is the 26th of January. We have a whole new week left to close of the month, so we should be going way above KPIs. We have a calendar full of people booked in, and it's all about knowing your numbers. Like once you can understand this and predictably know what your close rates are, how much a cost per qualified call is going to be, then just things start becoming easier. And like now you can understand how people scale to 200,000 a month, 500,000 a month, 1 million a month, whatever it may be, just by knowing the numbers and breaking down your system and your business into numbers. So amazing to see that's working. With regards to an update on the personal brand, we have over 100 new subscribers on YouTube, which is great to see. So that's 2,630 YouTube subs as of today. And that's tying into the wins of the week, which is building my personal brand, right? So it's amazing to see how like random people who are booking in calls are actually going through the content, and not even content related to real estate, which is the niche I'm in. Like I had a call with someone last week, Joachim, who actually bought a current client of ours, commenting on a video I made about a life update just like this. And it's amazing to see how being authentic and just showing your journey and showing you and showing the lessons you're learning can apply to anyone else's life. And I think it's a really authentic way to build trust and attract the right people that you want to work with. And that turns into another thing I wanted to mention, which is leadership, right? I read this book called The 21 Laws of Leadership, and I recommend that to anyone. And one of the laws was the Law of Magnetism, which basically states that whoever you are, whatever characteristics you have, whatever values you live by, you attract the same people around you. So now when I look at my team in Agent Leaders, the people inside the team are just like me. We're all driven, we always care about our families, we want the best for ourselves, personal development, always trying to learn and focus on our mission, which is trying to create a program and help our clients get the best results possible and change their lives. And it's funny to say that because it's one thing that like me believing that, but seeing the team around me being so dedicated to those results as well and not just focused on the money just goes to show and a testament to the law of magnetism, which is you attract who you are. If you're putting out negative energy in the world, you are going to attract negative people. If you're putting out and you know your vision, you know your values, you know your mission, automatically the people around you are going to be in sync with who that is. So the same thing with the sales calls. I had a guy who joined the sales call and he was going through the same struggles I was. I had the same values I had. And I could tell he's the same type of person as me. And I'm excited to actually work with him. So it's just amazing to see how the personal brand is working on that level. And that ties into the next thing, which is me working with Maria, who's going to be working on my personal brand more. So recording all the content, working with the editing team, and just getting me my time back. I know that's one of the most important things I've been mentioning in the previous weeks, which is controlling my time. So this is going to really allow me to focus on what I should be doing, which is growing the business, focusing more on the business rather than just content ideas and editing and passing on to editors. I'm going to take that off my plate, and Maria's going to be doing that. And really exciting for her to be part of our team and working with me. And yeah, that ties in the next thing, which is I've also booked a mastermind for March, adspend.com mastermind with Brian Moncada, and that's going to be held in New York. So we're really excited for that. And the cool thing about it is that Maria is going to be joining and documenting the whole journey. So I'll be sharing that with all of you guys along the way as well. And funny to see, going back in the law of magnetism, which is Maria recently messaged me right after we booked the mastermind, and she's going to be joining, that one of her goals for this year, without even telling me, was she wanted to join a mastermind. And just having a conversation and her joining this mastermind with me is like her goals being fulfilled without even her realizing and without even this really being planned. So it's more of like a synchronistic type of thing where things started aligning for us to work for both of us. So that's amazing to see. Now, the biggest issue I'm having right now in the business, not really issue I'm having right now, but the thing I want more clarity on is being more specific with the numbers in the business. Now, I need to know and be super clear about what my cost per acquisition is, my CAC number. How much is it costing me to acquire a new customer? Not just from the ad side, but the onboarding team, the ads, the commission I'm paying out to the sales rep, the commission I'm paying out to the setters, the profit margins on the software we're using. So I'm spending tomorrow to be really clear about all of these different numbers, so I know exactly what profit margins we have on each client we acquire, so that I can profitably scale up these ads to spending 10,000, 20,000 a month on ads and being in a position where that's predictable because I know exactly what the numbers internally are. So for me, business numbers right now are the things I'm focusing on to make sure the system is in the right place. Now, thoughts of the week was, I'm really reading a lot into Carl Jung. Now, I've been doing this for the past 5 years, really understanding and more about the psychological things about me and how I work and how we work and how humans operate. And I think for me, Carl Jung was one of the biggest inspirations I had. And one of the things that helped me a lot was integrating my shadow side. Like what Carl Jung teaches is that, I know this is going really off topic, but it's just been on my mind, and I think I want to share this with you because I'm trying to put it into words of what's going on in my head. So it's kind of therapeutic for me as well. So basically what Carl Jung says is we have an unconscious side to us, which is like the side that we ignore, right? It's called the shadow self. And society makes us push this shadow side away. Like you want to ignore it, you want to not have bad thoughts, and you sort of feel bad for feeling certain things about certain situations. Now, just to make this in an easier point of view, is like, how can I explain integrating your shadow in a way that's applicable to anyone? I think the best way for me, and the way I found to do it, which really served me a lot of, like really helped me having a lot less anxiety and stress and insecurities, is, do you know the feeling when you feel triggered, like you feel emotional, like someone tells you something and that it really pisses you off, or your friends or your family tell you something that really hurts deep down, and you're like, fuck you get pissed off, you get emotional, and you just stop thinking the way you would normally think, right? You react emotionally. I think those could be our biggest lessons, and that's, I think, what Carl Jung says when you're integrating the shadow. And the most basic term would be using those moments as lessons, right? Whenever you get triggered, whenever something really bugs you, whenever something really switches that switch inside you where you start seeing red and you get defensive, if you could stop for a second and use that as a lesson to learn, why am I feeling that way? Where is that coming from? Where are my insecurities? Why am I getting so triggered for this specific thing? If you can stop for a second, and once the emotions pass and if we can watch from a different point of view, which is, why am I feeling that way? And start playing with it and like actually working on why you are feeling that way. And being okay. I mean, it's not going to be something that can happen overnight, right? You're going to still feel triggered, but at least you are aware of why you are triggered. And then you can start working on what that thing is. If you're insecure about something, you can understand, why are you insecure? Where did that come from? And start integrating that side to yourself and bringing it to the light. Because if you keep pushing it down and ignoring it, you are going to constantly get triggered. You're going to be constantly feeling anxiety. You're going to be constantly feeling defensive. And I think if you manage to integrate your shadow, where you bring to light those insecurities whenever you feel triggered, I think those are the biggest lessons you can have in life. And they can actually change the way everyone's lives around you as well. Because I think it's a superpower where if you can be so comfortable with yourself, your good side, your bad side, knowing where your faults are, it gives you a sort of a shield where you don't get emotionally attached or like evoked by anything anyone says. Like if you can be so comfortable with yourself, and whenever you get triggered, you can bring that to the light, work on it, understand it, and not necessarily make it go away, but at least be aware of it. I think you can have so much less anxiety, because whenever anyone tells you something, there's either one of two options, right? Either you are aware of it and you know you're actively working on it. So when someone calls you out for something that would typically piss you off, you're like, sure, you're right, and I'm working on it, and I understand, and I'm okay with it, that side of me, and I'm trying to figure it out. And if they say something that's not aligned and that's not true, and they say something to piss you off, but you know yourself so well that that's not true, you can say, you're lying. That's not going to trigger you. Like, you're never going to get triggered if someone tells you something that you know you're not typically doing or you're not insecure about, because you know that about yourself. So if you can work on the other side, where it's trying to bring to light your triggers and using them as lessons to get better and to discover more about yourself and your insecurities and being okay with them, I think that can change your life and the people around you as well. So if I could leave you with a thought, it would be, what triggers you? Think about that and understand where that's coming from. And hopefully that can help you just shift the way you think about things and have more control and more happiness, just being okay with who you are. I know that was deep. I know that was really off track, but it's been something in my head for a while, and I just wanted to get it out into thoughts and words. So if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and I'll see you in the next week for the next one. Peace.